Hey friends, it's Mr. Strader again. Today I'm going to be running you through an activity that you maybe have done already at home. This is kind of a spin-off of a game that you probably have played at some point in your lives, whether it was maybe when you were a little bit younger, or maybe you've already played it since we've actually been away from school. But the game that I'm going to teach you about today is called This Floor is Lava. So the game itself is pretty easy. You are going to need some equipment for this. And just like anything that we've been talking about so far in these videos, I'm not sure what you guys have for equipment at home, but basically you're going to need something that you're going to be able to put on the ground, something that you can jump on, and something that you're not going to get hurt on if you were to jump on top of it. So in a minute here, I am going to show you the course that I have set up, but this game is pretty basic for the most part. The idea behind the game is to not touch the lava. So anything that is on top of the floor that you are on top of, you're safe. Okay? You could think of those as kind of mini islands. Now, anything underneath of those pads or whatever you happen to be moving on top of today, anything underneath, so the floor itself, that is the lava. So obviously you want to avoid touching the lava at all times. So in this game, it can be done indoors or outdoors. I'm going to show you inside today because, shocker here, the weather really isn't great outside today. So I'm going to show you in a bigger room. This can be done inside. You do need a little bit of space for it, but you can also do this outside if the weather happens to be on your side for that day. Just I would recommend doing it maybe in the lawn, something where if you do fall, you won't get cut up and hurt or anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to take the camera with me here and we're going to go show you the course itself, and I'm going to show you the different rounds that you can play this in. Okay, so here we are with our course. Now here's what I'm going to tell you with my course at home, and again, just because I don't know what your setup is at your own house, I'm just going to go based off of what I have set up here. So you can see here in this house that there is like a hardwood floor and then the carpet. The carpeted area just so happens to be red, so it kind of matches up nicely with the name of the game, but that would be the lava. Okay, so obviously the goal of this game is to stay off of the lava, and you're trying to go from platform to platform without touching the floor. Now, any part that touches the floor, that does mean that you have to return back to the start. Okay, so unlike in the last game that I did, the Maze of Doom, where you had to do an exercise to continue on, in this game, you basically just have to go all the way back to the beginning, or in this case, the hardwood, before I try again. Okay, now my goal is to make it all the way over to the steps on the other side without touching the carpet. Okay, now here is how you play this in different rounds. So in round one, you can start with as much equipment as possible, but for every time that you make it down to the other end, what I want you to do is remove one piece of equipment, okay? So, the idea, first goal of the game is this: can you make it down from one end to the other without touching the floor? If you could do that, you do a second round, you remove one piece of equipment. If you do it again, you remove another piece of equipment. So every time you make it down to the other end, you just keep removing pieces. The ultimate goal of the game is to see if you can travel down to the other end, and if you can do it, how few pieces can you use to make it down. Okay? So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces down. It would be tough for me to make it for more than maybe 1 or 2 more rounds. If I started with more pieces out on the floor, obviously I could play more than just that, okay? So just keep that in mind. The more pieces you have at the beginning, the more rounds it's going to allow you to do. But again, the ultimate goal is to see how few of these you can use and still make it down to the other end. Now, another thing that you can do as well, if you're trying to challenge yourself a little bit more, obviously, with these pieces spaced out the way that they are, either a leap, so jumping off of one foot and landing on the other foot might work well, or I could do a two-footed jump, okay, so almost like a frog jump, and treat these almost like lily pads. Or if you're looking for more of a challenge, you could add in different locomotor exercises such as a hop. Okay, so mix it up, see how much, different locomotor activities or movements you can add into this game. And again, the more you can do, the more challenging the game becomes. So unfortunately, all of my helpers today ended up taking a nap right around the same time. So I'm going to actually go on the course myself, take the camera with me, and so you can kind of see how it works. But again, the game's pretty easy. So again, I'm starting on the wood, and I would come out here. Now I'm just going to show you by leaping, so taking off of one foot, landing on the other. Okay, so I leapt out, and I'm safely on my island here, okay? So that means, let's say I fall over like this and touch it with my hand, guess what? Now I have to go back to the beginning, okay? But let's say I didn't do that, so I'm safely on my island, and I leap out to the next one, and I didn't touch, okay? So part of this is also honesty. You have to be honest. If any part touches, you have to go back to the start. Leap out to the next one, leap out to the next one, and then I keep going all the way until I get to the stairs. So now I've made it to the stairs. Now you could just start here and go back, or you could walk back to the beginning and start from the same end. I'm just going to do that because it makes it a little bit easier. But now I am going to remove one of these from my playing board. Okay, so I'm going to take this one, get rid of it. And then before you go again, you are allowed to reset your course a little bit. So in other words, you can shift some things around before you go again to make it a little bit easier. So part of this is planning out a course that actually works for you and allows you to get across. Okay, and so now I have one less piece, so I'm just going to take this one, put it off to the side, and then I would go again. If I made it down again, guess what? Now I would remove another one. Okay, so pretty easy game. Just to give you an idea of what I'm using for my islands, my son has a like a tunnel toy that he uses sometimes, and on the side of the tunnel they just have these little flat wheels, and that works for me, so I just put those down, and that's what I'm jumping on today. But again, you can use anything as long as it's not going to slip out from under you, get you hurt, okay? So that's the game. Pretty easy game, but remember, you're playing it in multiple rounds. Each round, take one piece of equipment out if you make it down. And try different locomotor movements with this one. So if you do leaping on the first time down, maybe you do two-footed jumps. Maybe you try going down all on the same foot. Totally up to you how you do it. But again, if you could do it that way, it does make it a little bit more challenging, okay? So that is The Floor is Lava. Okay guys, so that's our game for today. I hope everybody is doing really well at home. One quick thing I want to leave you with. If you were watching this and you know, I'm filming this on a Wednesday right now, so the date is May 6th. I have scheduled, this is really why you guys are watching, I know. I have scheduled my jumping date. So coming up, it will be this Saturday, so that would be May 9th. I will be jumping into Oneida Lake, guys. It's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning. We will have it online. It should be on the Brewerton PTO Facebook page, and it should also be on YouTube Live through my channel. So if you guys aren't doing anything this coming Saturday, hop on, check it out. Don't know if you saw the forecast, but it's going to be cold. Let's just put it this way, there's going to be some snow flying in the air for my jump. It should be a lot of fun. Hope everybody's doing well, guys. Look for another video soon, and we'll talk soon, okay? Take care.